One thing that we do know about Mark Hamill is that over the years, he's really been kind of a flip-flopper when it came to his overall statements on how he believed in the character of Luke or how he actually presented the character of Luke in the sequels. He kept going back and forth and either defending Rian Johnson or defending the fans, and for the very longest time, a lot of fans could never really get a proper read on Mark Hamill and exactly what his true beliefs really were, up until just a couple of months ago, where he's been a lot more vocal about his true feelings about the sequel trilogy version of Luke, and how the Luke that we are getting by John and Dave is superior. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, Mark Hamill, what I like about him most recently is that he's been becoming more and more honest, becoming very much more direct with the fans, giving his real thoughts on what happened with the sequels, what John and Dave are up to. He's been making a lot of exciting announcements, and we're going to be talking about the latest one just a couple of days ago, and what Mark Hamill had to say about how Luke is going to be utilized in ways that we would never even embrace. Now, the thing about this is that John and Dave have stated before that they have no plans to end Luke Skywalker appearing in the form of television. They want to keep things going. They want to keep showing him pop in and out of different shows, watching, of course, having the fans watch him pretty much, age throughout the years. They want to do that. And I think that's probably like one of the most respectful things that John and Dave can do. However, that brings us to what Mark Hamill recently had to say. Now, of course, with both Favreau and Filoni preparing to drop some big announcements as well for Star Wars, actor Mark Hamill has also been busy behind the scenes on bringing back Luke Skywalker once again into the mandoverse. Now, Mark Hamill recently got a chance to engage in an interview and speak directly to the fans by stating the following. Well, there are some things I can say about what John and Dave and other things that I am not at liberty to say. One amazing thing that I can confirm is that not only will I be returning to play a role in bringing Luke back once again, but Dave is doing something remarkable that is going to change my character in an extremely positive way, using a brand new world in the upcoming Ahsoka series. This world is what I like to say, something magical that involves both space and time, and how it's going to impact my character and Luke's journey in other TV shows is just mind-boggling. I think it will blow fans' minds without exaggerating, and I mean that. Now, I want to stop here quick before I get to the next thing of what he has to say. This is absolutely, without a doubt, alluding to the world between worlds. Now, as you all know, the WBW is going to feature Ahsoka Tano replacing Obi-Wan Kenobi's place when fighting Anakin Skywalker. That's one of the scenes that were filmed just before they wrapped, and it's not like they're necessarily changing time in that moment. Only certain scenarios and certain characters' paths can be changed using the world between worlds. And that's what the Ahsoka Season 1 and the planned Season 2 is going to be about, by showcasing what the WBW can do and cannot do. And what it is able to do is that it is actually reported to actually change Luke's journey at some point in time during the Mandoverse era, and how it's going to heavily impact the sequel trilogy movies. We already know that John and Dave are creating countless retcons toward the sequel trilogy films to really kind of embrace their own, roadmap of Star Wars and to really give us their own version of Luke through and through. Now, Mark Hamill wanted to be very clear that he is not just going to be finished with The Mandalorian as a show. Luke Skywalker is going to go beyond The Mandalorian and what happens in Ahsoka, and also what happens in an upcoming show called Mandalore, which, by the way, is going to be the evolution of the Mandalorian series once it comes to a close. This was initially called the Bo-Katan series, but it's now going to be more about jumping back into the present and going back in time through flashbacks. However, on top of this too, this is where things begin to pick up quite a bit and get even all the more engaging, alright? So, Another plan that he has for Luke, Mark Hamill says, is to interact and have scenes with some of the incoming Legends characters in the live-action iteration of Star Wars Rebels characters like Ezra and Thrawn that we have planned to be introduced in this amazing new series, and future Mandalorian-era projects. I feel like my dreams have finally come true to portray the version of Luke that I and fans have always looked up to, and I can confirm that John is really trying to just bring fans together after we got so much criticism with Luke's use in the sequel movies. He's very well aware of that, and taking notes from fans every day. I love him, he's amazing. They have their eyes set on changing Luke's past in ways that you would never even imagine. Now, Mark Hamill really kind of putting things a lot, forward there with the fans, kind of like showcasing, without saying it, of course, it is the world between worlds. Let's just not, be vague here. That's exactly what he's alluding to. He chose the words, a world based within space and time. Either he doesn't know the name or he's just trying to be secretive, but a lot of fans would easily catch on to this, including a lot of you out there. So the WBW, guys, it is going to be a main focus. It's not going to be a small piece in Ahsoka Season 1, and also let alone Season 2 that's being pitched right now to dive further into the secrets of the world between worlds, alright? We're going to be learning more about this realm because it is said to be the center of the wills and these godlike creatures that created the galaxy. I mean, yes, they're going to tap into stuff like that some fans may find to be controversial and changing the lore too much. But you know what? George Lucas is the guy that created the wills back in 1977. He never got to really utilize them is all. Now, when you look at Mark Hamill, alright, you can tell that most recently he is a lot more passionate about his work as Luke. He's a lot more passionate about his work with Star Wars because John and Dave are slowly building towards something very much powerful and something that's going to be really embedded within the mythology of the franchise. Something that is really going to kind of place itself in pop culture, so to speak. That's what John and Dave want to do. They want to create these big, titanic moments that are really going to be remembered for decades to come. And they don't want to have these TV shows just be stamped as a little tiny baby step. They really want to make them iconic. And it all begins with Mando 3 and the Ahsoka Tano series. Those are the two big projects for 2023 for John and Dave to prove their loyalty to the fans. So, obviously, they got a lot on their plate. Mark Hamill has a lot on his plate. He's been a lot more talkative about his situation, about his involvement, and I could not be more excited. So, overall, guys, I would love to hear you guys, create a discussion below about what you think about Luke's use in the mandoverse, what you think about John and Dave and their treatment of the character, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again. No.